Hey, what is going on, y'all? This is Jeff with Geo Rides, and in today's video, we are here at Richmond Harley Davidson getting ready to take a test ride on this 2026 Street Bob. And let me tell you, these bikes are a thrill, man. These Softail lineup bikes are absolutely amazing. All of the bikes have a place in the lineup. I'm a touring guy, as you know, but this Street Bob absolutely impressed me. It's got the riding modes on it. It's got pretty much all of the new cluster except for the controls for the Skyline OS with the TFT up here in front. You know, obviously it doesn't have that, but this Street Bob, like I said, it has its place in the lineup for affordability and function, depending on what it is you want to do with one of these bikes. But later on in the video, we're gonna take it on a test ride, but for now, I'm gonna get into the office and we're gonna go through the specs of this motorcycle because I wasn't prepared to ride this today. And my man Stuart, salesman here at Richmond Harley Davidson, he said, hey man, what do you wanna take out? I had already wanted to take out the Road Glide Limited right over there. Hopefully you checked out that video of my test ride of that. But then they said, what else do you wanna take out? And I was like, hey, I haven't ridden a Street Bob yet. So we hopped on it, and that's why I made this into 2 videos instead of 1. So I get 2 for 1 in this visit. But stick with me through this video, and we'll go ahead and do this test ride on this Street Bob. And make sure you check out my Road Glide Limited video as well. Let's go. All right, so we're here a few weeks later after riding the Street Bob, and like I said, I want to get into the office and go over the specs real quick because I wasn't expecting to ride the bike, but man, am I glad that I did. The Street Bob really shocked me in terms of the cruiser lineup or the Softail lineup in terms of what it delivered, especially for the money. So let's go ahead and get into it. And like I said, in terms of money, the Street Bob is going to start at $14,999. And so, you know, depending on what you're looking to do, if this is an entry-level bike for you, as some consider it to be, maybe you can even get you a good deal on a 2025 possibly, you know, depending on, you know, what your budget is looking like. You see right here, it says starting at $15,999 for the 2025 Street Bobs. But obviously you could negotiate that to be able to help clear the inventory of your local dealer or whatever the case would be. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the other features of the Street Bob and what it offers for the money. Because again, the biggest thing to me is the power to weight ratio for this motorcycle is absolutely ridiculous. It's got a 117 custom in it. I believe that's what it is. I'll get it in here in just a minute. But they offer 3 different levels of the 117. So then that gives you a different amount of performance across the board. I believe this is the 117 custom, the 117 classic, and then the 117 high output, all in the Softail lineup, if I remember correctly. But this has got 98 horsepower and 120 foot-pounds of torque. And so when I get down to the weight, let me go ahead and go over to the weight. The weight of this motorcycle, let's see, is 646 pounds. And that's in running order, so wet weight, in other words. And so if you take a 117 that is comparably powered, maybe not, geared, but comparably powered, a 117 on a touring bike that weighs, you know, upwards of 900 pounds, wet, is gonna be completely different, right? So, but let me go ahead and go back up and continue to talk about some of these specs. Obviously you have the different colors, the billiard gray, black, red, brilliant red, olive steel metallic, which is one of my favorite colors in 2026. And then you've also got the aura blue denim, and all of that is in the chrome 2-up package. And then they have a chrome solo package as well if you're looking to save some money. And so I believe the chrome solo is what starts right at $15,000, but you got to check for that for yourself. But anyway, the 2-up package is going to bring you those things all in chrome. And so as we're going down, we already talked about some of the specs of the actual motor. 47 miles per gallon, which is excellent. I think I get 42 miles per gallon on my Street Glide. But then also you see some of the other gallery type items. And let me tell you, when it comes to these cruiser lineup bikes, the biggest complaint for me, in all honesty, the tech is all great in it, the ride modes, all that other kind of stuff, but it's the foot controls. I believe, I'm 5'10", but I believe that I'm kind of pushed forward a little bit because I'm a little deep in the seat. You probably heard me say that a number of times in my videos. But anyway, I'm pushed forward a little bit, I feel. So I would have to put forward controls or at least have them tried on before I would spend the money on a cruiser, because I tried the Lowrider ST, and I'll put a link to that video where I did a test ride on that. And that was absolutely too cramped for me. I got, my knees and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, some of the other seat safety features that come for this $15,000, you get ABS, you get traction control, you get tire pressure monitoring, which is huge in my mind. You can check your tire pressure. If you're on the road or whatever the case may be, or don't have a gauge with you, you can just check your tire pressure. And then, like we already talked about the weight, we already talked about the engine. It is the 117 Classic. That's right, the 117 Classic is gonna be in the Street Bob. So make sure you check that out across the cruiser lineup to make sure which 117 you're getting and what performance you're gonna get. We already talked about the torque specs and things of that nature. Let's see, the drivetrain, I'm not necessarily concerned about all that, although it is chain driven for what that's worth. And then you got your chassis. Again, I'm not worried about that. You can look into that and see how specific you want to get with all that. But you have a 4-inch analog gauge, which I show a little bit there. You also have LEDs all the way around, which is huge. You don't have to spend the money on that or whatever the case would be. But let's go ahead and get to the test ride portion of this video. And let me tell you, I'm going to spoil it a little bit. I absolutely love this bike. I was not expecting to ride it at all, so really my expectations weren't built up. I was actually expecting to be disappointed, to be honest with you. But let's go ahead and get into the test ride.
All right, y'all. So I know I said I was going to be riding a Road Glide Limited, and that is true. But we're also going to be taking out a Street Bob. The folks here at Richmond Harley Davidson are pulling out all the stops. Mike Smith and my man Stuart, who's helping me out here, the salesman here at Richmond Harley Davidson. Make sure you stop by and check him out and give him a holler. Tell him Jeff sent you. Jeff from Geo Rides. But anyway, we're sitting here looking at this Street Bob. This is going to be my first time riding a Street Bob today as well, along with the Road Glide Limited. But I'm going to start out on the Road Glide Limited, and then I'm going to switch to the Street Bob, because the Road Glide Limited is the star of this show, but I try to get in as much as I can, especially when dealerships are willing to help out and support me making a video. So let's go ahead and get onto the Road Glide Limited and make our way down the road.
So we're off on the Street Bob. Big shout out to Richmond Harley Davidson for both of these test rides. I had some audio quality issues this time. This has never happened before, but it's happened now, so it is what it is. But let me tell you, switching from the Road Glide Limited to this Street Bob is really awkward. Let me tell you, it is really, really awkward. I took my time leaving the church parking lot because of the change in controls and just overall posture. I appreciate these guys being patient and letting me get set up. Stuart was real great about that, letting me get my feel before we took off. But anyway, your brake pedals are smaller on the Street Bob. The control positioning are mid. And when I say mid, I mean mid controls, as in not all the way forward like I would want them to be. But I took my time to get it right so I don't end up in the ditch over here on the side of the road. Yeah, you can see Stuart up there weaving the Road Glide Limited. Let me tell you, that thing rode like the best thing I've ever been on so far. It is nimble, comfortable, it is everything. I can't wait to buy one, but I have to wait until all of the conditions are right before I buy it. I want to make sure I know how much I need to spend for the speaker system, and that way I can take care of that and the other mods that I want to do and have the money up front. The purchase of the motorcycle to me is easy. It's the extra stuff that gets you, because it just piles up and piles up. But anyway, back to the Street Bob. It is weird picking it up off of the Jiffy stand. Let me tell you, it is just weird. A lot of it's weird because obviously the bike is lighter. It's 626 pounds versus the 800, almost 900 pounds of the Road Glide Limited. The only other Softail that I've ridden is the Lowrider ST. I'm going to try and ride them all, but the Lowrider ST I absolutely loved. Make sure you hop on over and check out my video at the end of this of the Lowrider ST reviews that I've done in the past. But this Street Bob is nimble, I can move it around. The Road Glide Limited seems to move a lot better than this bike, but the Street Bob I can definitely see as an in and around town bike, a bar hopper, or throwing a backpack on, riding it to work. This road really puts it through its paces to really understand what it can and can't do. The stock bars are in a comfortable position. They are up and out, and you see how my arms are extended here? That's how the Road Glide Limited would need to be for me to be comfortable. I'm going to be getting a set of bars put on my bike at Myrtle Beach Bike Week this coming May, and I'm gonna have KST Customs install either Patriot baggers or the 6 bends. Which ones do you think I should put on my bike? I think I'm gonna go with the 6 bend just to kind of match up with the rest of the bike in terms of the lines and the saddlebag guards and stuff like that. But what do you think? Which one should I get? The Patriot baggers are 1.5 inches in diameter, and the 6 bands are 1.25 inch in diameter. That really doesn't make that much of a difference in my mind. But anyway, I am glad to get to ride this Softail. It's not what I came here for, but I definitely enjoy the experience. Riding bikes is riding bikes. Figuring out what you like and what you don't like when it comes to that next purchase is what it's all about with riding these different bikes. As I mentioned earlier, there are different versions of the 117 motor for 2026. The Classic has 98 horsepower and 128 foot-pounds of torque. The Custom has 103 horsepower and 126 foot-pounds of torque. And the high output motor with the Lowrider ST has 114 horsepower, 128 foot-pounds of torque. But let me tell you, the Classic holds its own on this very light motorcycle. Again, it's 626 pounds. I opened it up a little bit here and almost fell off the back of the seat. I was tripping on that one, man. It just rides smooth, you know, you have the control over the throttle, you know what you can and can't do, but it rides absolutely smooth. I haven't met a Harley I haven't liked to ride so far, but you have to get down to your local dealership to try them out for yourself to know if that's gonna be a long-term purchase that you wanna make. Hey man, Marvel Kid 87 just purchased him a Street Bob, and I know he's gonna do all kinds of crazy things to it. So make sure you hop on over and check out his video if you have intent on buying a Street Bob and looking for the modifications that you can do to your bike. But hey, we're gonna be wrapping up this test ride. I wanna thank you for watching this video till the end. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. And remember to always ride as if your life depends on it. Peace, and be blessed.